I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming over here at Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Check on this, make sure that is good. We are ready to rock and roll tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're in the right spot if you're trying to get that cash. We're going to open up wide on 4 NHL games tonight. We got the New Jersey Devils, the Carolina Hurricanes, Vancouver Canucks, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Blackhawks and the Flames are in action, in the Flyers and the Oilers. We're going to cover the ALCS, talking about that Cleveland Yankee spot. 3 college football games on tonight. I struggled. I got 2 spots for you guys in college football, and I'm ready for them. I think there are going to be some good opportunities for us to get after it. Speaking of getting after it, last night, look, we ended our 5-day winning streak of consecutive dubs on the show. We dropped a unit yesterday, and it's pretty disappointing. I'm going to tell you. First of all, let's start with, what do you want to start with? Let's start with the NFL. Let's go to the big game, the Jets and the Bills. You ever seen a more absolutely dialed in fucking breakdown of a game in your lives? Everyone's like, can you believe there were 200 yards and penalties? Yeah. You didn't do the ref research? 3-0 for the Bills. I was out with some friends. I swear they were tired of hearing it. Number 1 in roughing the passer. Number 1 in defensive pass interference. Number 1 in holding plays. What's left? Chop blocks? Do they even call chop blocks anymore? Of course, that's how that game went down. Lazard got his touchdown. Sadly, we did break the streak of touchdowns with Kincaid. I thought Dawson Knox had that one. I'm sorry, I thought Kincaid had that one and not Dawson Knox. But I told you guys that was a heavy spot for me with the Bills, and they came through for us. Never in doubt. Never in doubt. Aaron Rodgers, look at him over there on the side. He's on the poop list for a reason. He loves throwing interceptions at the end of the game and then look around like, who threw that? It was you, dummy. You threw it. Another interception, but this time here it got us the W. And we won by fading. So he stays on the poop list. That's how that works out there. NHL-wise, not our finest hour. You know, the Rangers. There's like 2 seconds left. They cough up that goal to Detroit. Terrible. They end up winning the game, but Colorado does not get the game. And we lose the parlay. We lose Colorado first period under. Then we look at the Cleveland Guardians lost. But Stevie Ray Kwan comes through with the RBI for us at a nice plus 300 price. So a little bit of a silver lining there, I guess, to some degree. Just felt like being so dialed into what was happening on the card. Can't help but feel like we left some cash out there. So disappointed, not just from being down the unit, just, when you're that dialed into, I should have taken the teaser. I talked about the under in that NFL game. I said, what scares me is these refs blowing this thing and giving great passing yards. How about Aaron Rodgers? Again, the horseshoe up this guy's ass where he just throws it deep and it just lands in Lazard's stomach as he's laying on his back. Unbelievable touchdown there for Lazard. Great touchdown by Garrett Wilson. That was a fun little spot there to watch him get both his feet in there. It's funny because I was at a heavy Bills household, and everybody, as soon as they saw Wilson, were like, he's in. I mean, it wasn't even a question about that, even though somehow they called him out. So pro Bills fans all knew that was out, but it is what it is. And speaking of those Bills, I know Ramon got to dust it off and use it earlier today. I'm going to fire it up. Official news. Amari Cooper takes his game to Buffalo, baby. He's going to be a Bill. And despite being old, he is a 5-time Pro Bowler and should stretch that field out with the deep threat that, frankly, Buffalo so badly needs. You can't just have Josh Allen running that thing 40 yards a game anymore. You gotta give the guy some targets. And frankly, I think he's better than Diggs. I think that step up in Amari Cooper, get him out of Cleveland. Is Cleveland done? Have they just written their season off? Because Deshaun Watson don't look like it's it. Deshaun Watson, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there with Cleveland, but I know Buffalo got a huge uptick. Obviously, Devontae Adams goes to the New York Jets, paired back up with Aaron Rodgers. Okay. And we see Drake May going to be starting out there going forward with the New England Patriots. Expectations are Tua Tagovailoa is going to come back for the Miami Dolphins. Is the AFC East viable Super Bowl bound teams? I don't know, but it's exciting to see what's happening. I love when my teams pick up players, mid-season out there. I was hoping the Eagles would have done a little something more, but it's all right. We'll figure it out. Speaking of figuring it out, you guys, if you haven't figured it out already, smash that thumbs up button. I need your help. You guys did a terrific job yesterday. I was psyched. I think we had almost 85 thumbs up. That's great. That's awesome. That helps us crack this code and just let people know we're here doing this thing, man. It helps us get promoted throughout YouTube when you guys take that time to do it. So you know the deal. Close out the comments button, hit that thumbs up button, and then pop back in the comments and we'll get this thing going. It's funny, that sounds like a Linkin Park thing, and I can assure you it is not a Linkin Park deal. So that being said, though, let's get to the deal of the deals here. Time to cook the books. We got a big night with Dana White Contender Series. Pops off at 7:40 p.m. You know it. Sports Money's UFC 6 coming at you guys here for the last week of Dana White Contender Series. And who's going to have the big night? Who's it going to be? We've seen, it's traded hands. Everyone's had a monster night on Dana White Contender Series with the UFC 6 here, but I'm fired up. Last week of this action here, we'll reevaluate the way we go about live streaming. We want to continue to bring you guys live stream. Love hanging out. Love having some cocktails with you guys betting on sports. So we will find the right formula. But tonight, we're going to enjoy the last Tuesday Dana White Contender Series we have of the season, a little 5-fight card. And we pop off at 7:40. So we got to get to work. We got 4 hockey games to break down, a baseball game, 2 college football games, and we got to get moving. So smash that thumbs up. Get your pen and paper ready. You know the deal. The best in the business. Line up right here with Sports Money. We evaluate trends, cash flow splits, line movement, all the injury updates, everything you're going to need to get to the window cashing winning tickets. I might even sneak in an NBA later preseason game for you guys. We'll see. I've got one. That I want to get into tonight, but we'll see. How about that? I'll leave it at we'll see out there, but let's go. If you guys haven't done so already, throw your best bets in the chat so we can recognize what you guys are on. Let's commence with the butt rubbing, as they say, and our commenter numero uno, 99.4%. First comment ratio here on Pregaming is Joe T. And he's giving us the fuck your under play of the day. Right at 8 minutes. How about that? Fuck your under play of the day. Blackhawks, Flames, first period over 1.5 for our guy Joe T coming in there with the best bet. He's been firing. He's been having himself away. You find him over there with the community tab on Sports Money. If you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it. We got all kinds of things going on over there. Free plays, members plays, consensus reports, updated polls, all kinds of information that you guys are going to want to use to get paid. And let's go. Jay Dubs in the house. Keith from Each Every Stride is here. Joseph Alvarado, Winner's Circle, says, hey, yo. There we go. Otto Martinez and Souza, money lines for Winner's Circle. Going to be a ton of fun to watch this thing tonight. Here's Sub bringing in some more Dana White Contender Series action for us. Subhuman Gaucho, part of course, the UFC 6. Long shot, Dana White Contender Series props. Fucking name, Sub. I think you do this on purpose. Micallef sub plus 500. Micallef round 2 plus 750. Just a 0.1 unit spot for each. Montero sub at plus 600. Klein round 3 or decision at plus 380 for quarter units out there. We sprinkle it around. We bet on everything. Some people say, well, just because there's fights, you don't have to bet on them. Well, You can't go ahead and sweep the entire UFC card if you don't bet on every fight. That's right. Let's go. Justin McCalvey says sports money is money. Shout out to Tarek B. My dude's in the house. Says, what's up? Let's get it. He's on the under first 5 and full game and a nerfy. There's our guy. Marcus, Red Sox Patriots back for more. Says, what up, Pimp Slap and Morning Steam chatters and cashers? Tonight we about to bust some heads. He's got the Guardians -1.5 alternate line. Wow. And the Yankees team total over 3.5. Whoa. Sounds like Marcus is expecting a shootout. I can't wait to talk about that game. Let's go. Joe Dubs in the house. What a bad beat. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Shout out to Timmy Two Shoe says, gimme Mr. Alex Ovechkin to record 1+ ice hockey goals. That's right. I said ice hockey for Timmy Two Shoes. Hey, man, this is ice hockey friendly environment around here. That's where we make a ton of our cash as the season gets rolling. So stay tuned. I got some great trends for you guys tonight. There's a 20-year trend in place tonight that's gone. It's 9-0 in its last 9 that I cannot wait to talk to you guys about tonight. Tech B says, I live bet the Jets +9.5 under 58. I did catch an under 47.5. When they were scoring all those points early in that game, I was like, man, you know the deal. If they don't score early, you take the over late. If they do score early, you take the under around halftime. That's the way this game works. Shout out to my God, Ryan McMahon, giving us the hashtag Vodka style. God, I gotta fucking remember to use that. Gotta remember hashtagging all kinds of shit all day long. I gotta get in there. Let's go. Nasty Nate says, hit the like button. Your dad kisses his brother. Is it a I haven't seen you in 20 years, brother kiss on the cheek, or is it like intimate, holding the back of each other's head? Nasty Nate. I don't know, man. That's weird. That's weird. Tarek B says, I had Lazard touchdown. Hell yeah. Yeah, it was a great. He was the look. I mean, obviously Wilson got there too, but I'm sad because I put Allen and Lazard together. I sent some of the fellas the ticket. It was +700. And then I sat around all day, like second guessing myself. That's what happens when you start catching a streak. You start your head starts playing tricks with you. And, well, good on you, Tarek B. Get that Lazard money. Big Scott in the house likes the Rangers. Oh, it says Rangers. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out. Just Valverano says, got him a new wide receiver. Mark Kell says, yo, let's go. Chris says, Rogers loves Lazard. What's going to happen now that they've got yet another weapon out there? Are they just abandoning the running game? The running game we talked about yesterday, the worst in the NFL, I think, is what we talked about yesterday. So, oh, man, Timmy Two Shoes. I'm going out on a limb and sprinkled Giancarlo Stanton homer. How about the 3 dudes for the Yankees yesterday? I called them all out. They must be listening to the show. If you guys in Yankeesville are listening to the show, fuck you. How about that? Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto. I called them all out by name yesterday. They stuck me real good. M says Bill Stink, who cares? Lamar and Henry. Yeah, well, we'll see. It was early, man. You can't win the Super Bowl in week 3. Markel, let's go, you guys. Appreciate you guys rocking. Let's get to work. Let's get to it. Jay Main's in the house. Says, let's go. Flyers kick Edmonton ass while they're down. Markel says, speaking of the NBA, it's next week. Hell yeah. We've had some. Remember the first half? Remember what was it? The trifecta overtrend. I know everybody talked about the trifecta. We were the originators of the trifecta overtrend. Remember that? It was first half over, first half team total over, full game over. Man, I think we won like 45 in a row before we finally took it out on that one. So I'm looking forward to that one being back. I've been already looking. It's a little early for them lines to get moving, but Jolly Roger likes Blackhawks team total over 2.5, Yankees team total under 4.5. South Bama first half -0.5 parlay is +279. Woo! Old E, the house. Jay Main says, I got 7 hockey joints locked and loaded. Tampa Bay over 3.5 on the team total. Timmy Two Shoes, that flyer. Owen Tippett could finally get himself a goal in Edmonton. Burst that Skinner. That's right. He's back too. Let's go. Smoke and mirrors. Just over here cocktailing so I don't get fined. You know why I'm here. I think Smoke's here for the UFC. I texted him afterwards. I DM'd him. I said, Smoke, how can you hate the UFC after a night like we had on Saturday? Let's go. My guy, Gorky's in the house. Likes the Blue Jackets tonight. Going to be Johnny Gaudreau commemoration night, I guess is what we'll call it. J-Main. We got here. Tampa Bay over 3.5 plus 110. Dallas over 4.5 plus 140. Flames, Blackhawks over 6 minus 122. Vegas, Washington over 6 minus 105. Florida, Columbus over 6.5 plus 105. Flyers, money line plus 170. A little cautious about that Dallas. Dallas seems like an under team to me personally, but let's go. Mel says, can you believe that line drop in the South Alabama game? I don't know what to make of it. It's going back up now, though. Speaking of the devil, it is climbing back up. Nasty Nate says, all they got to do is hit the like and they don't kiss it out. All right. Shout out to Ahmed Heat. Came one Dalton touchdown from Cash. Man, dude. I know we had, just should have been a bigger night. Jay Main says, I said Knox on the show. And Guckin went with Kincaid. Yeah, dude. You know, the sharp money came in there. I told you guys that sharp report had both tight ends. It was great matchups for the tight ends. Kincaid couldn't get across the finish line. Gorky likes the Yankees and the Oilers. There's my guy, Dave Peasy in the house. Says, what up, motherfuckers? I really like Middle Tennessee State team total over, but I don't really bet college football, so I don't know how much I trust my gut. Stern Company, hell yeah, let's get this Russian export plus 260 for them Flyers. And Lutsenko goal. Man, he likes the Rooks in Philadelphia. The Rooks to have a big night out there against Skinner. Joe W., thank you for asking. It did win. Now, look, I'm not going to come around here fucking banging the tambourine for you guys like a fucking gypsy. I didn't give it. I mean, I talked about it, right? But the Yankees, the Mets, the Bills as the only New York football team. Then we had the Rangers and the Islanders. You know, yeah, I played Colorado in that parlay, but it was almost 21 to 1. So, you know, I did talk about it. That's what's so goddamn disappointing. It's one thing to talk about it, but then to get the button pushed on the right spots is the difficulty in what we do here on a regular basis. Big Scott, ALCS double up on the under, first 5 under 4, under 7, Flyers money line, hockey parlay, Lightning Preds money line parlay. I like those looks, my dude. I like them looks, Big Scott. Let's go. Nasty Nate says, I'm the originator of the Celtics trifecta, but I am the originator of the trifecta over. Nobody even remembers what those trends were. And for what it's worth, it doesn't happen until the third game a team plays the other team in the NBA. But I do, Nasty Nate, remember you being the originator of the Celtics trifectas. Guys, let's get to work. Let's go. We got work to do. We got a lot to do, not a lot of time to do it. As always is the case, if you haven't done so already, smash the like button here. Want to make sure we talk about what you guys are, in fact, on as we get to work. But let's get into these games here tonight. Let's start with this first NHL game. Where the hell did there they are. There they are. I'm going to have to figure out a new way to deal with these graphics. That's a lot of shit to type out there. Not that it's a problem typing it out. It's just a problem fitting it in the bar. So I'm going to have to revamp these graphics a little bit in some way, shape, or form. Maybe I'll just use team logos with a record in the goalie stats or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We know the deal. We want to get that plane up in the air. Then we'll bang away on the wings while we're flying, the son of a bitch. And speaking of flying here, this Devils team, 4-1 to start the season. We got a Carolina Hurricanes team coming out flat at 0-1 on their season. And we could probably keep this thing pretty brisk pace because there is some DWCS I got to get ready for here. Looking at the goaltenders, you know the deal, you guys. We got to make sure that these guys are confirmed. It's not like baseball where I said I could care less. You know, the thing with baseball and the difference there is starting pitchers, they're typically not going the whole game. So who gives a shit? You know, I mean, if you're playing the first 5, yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of a function there. But generally speaking, I believe the team that switches the pitcher out at the last minute has the advantage because the batters on the other side don't know what they have in store for them, or at least that preparation time falls on the wayside. Hockey's a whole different element, though. These goalies should be going 60 minutes. And we've got Markstrom starting off with the New Jersey Devils. They've been running this guy like a beast. 34 years old. 2.7 goals against average to start the season, and he's 2-1. So they're mixing him in at a nice little rate out there. Last season, he was a 90.5% save percentage guy. So he's right on par with a 90.6% save percentage with where he was last season. Kochekov's going on the other side for the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, the Hurricanes, They get beat up by Tampa 4-1. They go to Frederick Anderson in net in that game. And despite only playing their second game of the season here, they're going to roll with the new guy. They're going to put Kochetkov in there, 25 years old. He's going to be in his fourth season in the NHL, and he had a decent number last year. He had a 2.33 goals against average, 91.1% save percentage, 23-13 on the season. We'll keep her moving here for you guys. We'll keep a brisk pace, as you know is so important to get through all of these games well before we get to puck drop. And we're taking an under. An NHL under. And it's the only under I got for the NHL card tonight. We want to look at these ones by the numbers. Which one do you want to start with? I got a nice 8-23 under trend in play already. But the Carolina Hurricanes, divisional opponent at home, totals over 5.5. They're looking at an 11-0 under spot. I told you guys last week when Frederick Anderson went in goal. Carolina is the East Coast capital of NHL unders. Rod Brind'Amour, after allowing 4 or more goals, reacts, plays some defense, focuses in on backing the net up first, goal secondary. Let's just lock things down, not take stupid penalties. He's 41-17 to the under as well. I'm going to shout out my guy for sharing some of those numbers with me earlier today. And we can get this under 6.5 at -120. You can still get the 6. That's fine. Get a 6 if that's what you want, but everybody expected that over yesterday in that Devils game. Not to mention, too, you got a backed-up backer happening out here with New Jersey, right? So they just played yesterday. They just took down that Utah Hockey Club. They have a travel spot in place as well. You got to take advantage of an under with this opportunity here. Probably some tired legs, and we know that Carolina Hurricanes team is going to focus on defense first with Rod Brind'Amour behind the bench carrying the clipboard. So we'll start off with an under. We'll keep her moving. Going to get this thing done with you guys in record time today. So if you haven't done so already, smash that thumbs up button. And let's roll on to Vancouver, Tampa Bay. Important to note, this is how you get a guy in net that's 0-1 with a 5.9 goals against average and 76.9% save percentage. That is Artur Silovs. Their main guy's out. Thatcher Demko won't play for at least a month, I believe was the latest I read on that thing. And so, yeah, Canucks go out there with Lankinen, and they had themselves a 29-31 shots there against Philadelphia. It was still a loss. It was a 3-2 shootout loss. And they're going to go back to this beach ball that is Silovs, I don't know. 6 goals on 26 shots. Another overtime loss. There's 2 things going on with this Vancouver team. One, I think they played outside of expectations last year going as far as they did. There's still a little bit of, I think, public bias with this Vancouver team and who they were last year, but that goaltending is a big deal. Without their number 1 guy who was a Vezina Trophy finalist, they're in a bad spot. And this is how you get, again, that guy with a 5.9 goals against average. On the other side of things, Vasilevsky's in goal. You look at Vasilevsky overall from his performance out there, 95.2% save percentage, 1.0 goals against average. We look at the goals against average, very comparative to ERA for pitchers. And don't matter if you're pitching or you're goaltending, a 1.0 is pretty fucking good. Not to mention he is 1-0 as well on the season. And you look at some of these kind of adjacent numbers or some numbers that fall into this one. I think we got to fade this team. We got to fade this Vancouver team while we can get some positive numbers for them. If you want to talk about momentum for these 2 teams here, Vancouver's taking that road trip, and it's a long road trip, right? It's the second longest they could have next to leaving from Edmonton. And you got dudes that are beat up. They're losing games in overtime, so morale might take a little boost by going on the road, but this will be Tampa Bay's home opener. What was it, Hurricane Milton? Fuck that schedule all up. Tampa Bay now back at home, kicking things off for their season. I think they're going to be fired up. I think we take advantage of this soft goaltending here. It's old Mother Hubbard. And you only got Lankinen in the cupboard. If we find a way that Tampa Bay comes out there and roasts Silovs off the gate, well, damn. I like Tampa Bay in all stretches here. I got a big trend on Tampa Bay for the over, too. I'll just give you guys the numbers here just to keep things rolling here. What was that Tampa Bay spot? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Where did it go? Where are you? File this shit away all over the place. And then I can't find it. 28-15 trend to the over as well for this Tampa Bay team. But for me, I thought the best play, moderate juice with this Tampa Bay team in their home opening opportunity here. Minus 130. Crowd should be fired up. They got the emotion of playing for the city of Tampa underneath their belts, and a busted up goaltending situation for that Vancouver Canucks squad out there. That equals a dub. So we'll back the Tampa Bay Lightning straight up, and shout out. Speaking of backing, our guy Oldie has backed us from the get-go with this thing, and he's gifting a sports money membership, helping us build the community. One member at a time, Oldie. You are the man. I appreciate you rocking with us, dude. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a regular with us, and thank you for all of your contributions, both plays, memberships, and donut. All of it, man. Thank you, Oldie. Shout out to you. Let's go. Hey, shout out to Peter Gracia. I hope he's doing well. I hope he's on the road to recovery. Modern surgery. Okay, man. I hope all is well. You will be in our thoughts and prayers. We want to see you get a speedy recovery. Jay Peasy makes me laugh. Says my concentration starts to fade when I start hearing unders. Oh, look, a squirrel. Oh, man. But all in fairness, man, again, Peter Gracia, you will be in our thoughts and prayers. Appreciate you rocking with us, finding your way through. Enjoy them perks, man. Let's go. Shout out Marco Carrasco in the house out there. Joe T says these two are 5 of 6, last 6, the first period over. I'm sure he's talking about this Tampa game. We got a little Pecanini. I don't know. Fights under 2.5 rounds, though, at plus 145. I know that. I believe he's talking Dana White Contender Series. Let's go. A couple conversations back and forth. But shout out to Cameron Sinnett. Let's go, my dude. Gifting the $9.99 dono as well. He's blessing our action tonight. Thank you, brother. Let's go. Pimp Slap Army. Come on. He hit yesterday's New York parlay. Well, me too. I wish I gave it out as official. I hate that I gave out the other side for that Colorado spot too, but shout out to you, Cameron Sinnett, dude. Hey, it's not just what we play, it's what we say, right? Check it out. Make sure you pay attention. Let's go, you guys, man. Appreciate everybody hanging with us here as we get into this thing here. Let's keep her moving. Let's talk about game number 3. Let's get this off the screen. Let's get going. Here's the one I told you guys about. 20-year trend, 9-0 in its last 9. On its way in Calgary. We got the Chicago Blackhawks. They're going to put Mrazek out there. He's got the .303 goals against average. Let me just confirm that these guys are confirmed. Let me just refresh and make sure. I hate to talk the whole thing up about goaltenders and then find out they switched them at the last minute. Earlier today, I know Ramon Scott was talking about that Nashville-Seattle goaltending situation. It was the Detroit situation that I was referencing yesterday. Ville Husso got his ass shipped out of town, or at least put on free agency, right? So we'll see if he clears the waivers. But he's out, and they went down from a 3-man rotation to a 2-man rotation. I believe Seattle looking at Joey Decord, their number 1 guy, and Juicy Saros. Juicy Saros for the Nashville Predators. But there's no play for me in that game. I just wanted to give you guys those officials. I do have this play, though, as we look at Peter Mrazek is confirmed for Chicago Blackhawks. Dustin Wolf is confirmed for the Calgary Flames. And he's sporting, it says Vasilevsky. Well, Vasilevsky's not playing for Calgary. He didn't miss a trade. It's Dustin Wolf. Dustin Wolf, my fault. He does have a 3.0 goals against average. However, a 92.5% save percentage. And, Calgary's doing things the right way here. I'll tell you what, Calgary might be a dark horse. I don't know if they could be a dark horse truly or not, but something's happening with these guys, man. Look at them. They're using their goaltenders well. They're going through kind of that 1-2-1-2. They're going to give Wolf from the AHL. We talked about the start of the season, his tremendous numbers out there in the AHL, now coming back in as a regular in the NHL. He's going to get a second start of the season. First time out, 37 saves on 40 shots. Easy 6-3 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers. Prior to that, though, he was 8-7-1. And he had that 3.03 goals against average. So 3 seems to be the key number. Then we look on the other side of things with the Blackhawks. What are you going to say? 2 games this season. Peter Mrazek's 1-1. At some point, I feel like we got to see this scoring slump. I don't know if I say it's a slump with this Chicago Blackhawks team. I mean, if you kind of look at some of their recent opponents and kind of who they've been involved with here, yeah, you know, you want to see Connor Bedard and company start to fire, right? You want to see some shit start moving in the right direction here. You know, you got a lot of talent on both these teams that just aren't able to capitalize on it here. And looking at these numbers, you know, 2-1 to the over for the Blackhawks, 2-1 to the Flames, a 1-1 season for these Blackhawks, but scoring 5 goals on them Edmonton Oilers on the road. So this always happens, right? These teams kind of play that Pacific Northwest travel spot. You get Edmonton, you get Winnipeg, you get Calgary. Apparently they're going to start firing off, you know, Utah into that mix as well. And so it's definitely been a rough road to start for this Chicago Blackhawks team. They lose 5-2 to Utah. Young team, both sides. Utah scores. It was their home opener. Winnipeg, Hellebuck type of goaltending out there, should continue to fire. That's an under in that game, 2-1 loss, but in the game. And then, you know, all breaks are off, 5-2 against them Edmonton Oilers. Flip side, 4-1 win for the Flames, 6-3 win for the Flames, 6-5 win for the Flames. The moral of the story is goals. This is that 9-0 trend. It's favoring the over in the Chicago Blackhawks game. And we're going to ride it. We're going to take it over. I think it correlates with our guy Joe T with his F your under play of the day. Let me just see what the numbers look like now. 6s are creeping. Still get 6s at -123 at Bet Rivers, -125 at DK. And is it even worth saying Caesars? Maybe. I don't know. I got to look and see how their hockey does out there. But now we're seeing 6.5s. FanDuel's got the 6.5 at +104. Bet MGM at +100. If you're going to take the under 6.5 in the Calgary Flames game, I would take the over 6 in the Chicago game. If you're going to get involved with those hooks, if you're less risk adverse, then, you know, take the under 6.5. You know, the over. Would I fuck that up? Over 6.5. If you're looking to take a little bit more of a wager to keep the juice down here, I think both. You know that. I think that Carolina Devils game goes under. Probably another 4-1 type of final. And I think the Chicago game, I bet you this game's like a 6-3 type of blaster out there. I don't know that Chicago's a live dog in this spot here. Everything kind of showed, you know, road dogs in the NHL have been incredibly profitable right now. Let me pull up these numbers here while I got you guys here for a moment. We can talk a little bit about these road dogs in the NHL. They've been firing. But we're not going to have like real true data to sink our teeth into until, you know, probably we start seeing the 10-game mark of the season. Right now, we're kind of just using some prior season trends and metrics that are overlaying with teams and how they're starting right now. But look, home and NHL away dogs are 10-4 on the season if they fall under some of these line parameters, 7-3 in their last 10 as well. So don't hate on them dogs. I just don't know that Chicago's got enough. I think Calgary's doing things the right way. I know it's super early, but I like a lot of these guys on both these squads as well. I mean, you look across the board. I like Kadri, Bedard. What's not to like about Teravainen? Taylor Hall's another guy. Heberdow. I mean, there's a lot of scoring potential on both these teams. This could be a really nice same-game parlay spot. And don't sleep on Ryan Donato. I don't know that he's the first goal scorer out there, but that's a guy that just kind of middle of the pack at a 525 to get a goal-scoring opportunity. Of course, we know Uyghur's out there. Lots of guys to get firepower and put pucks in the net. So I like that Chicago. I'm going to take that over 6 is going to be a spot. Joe T loves that play. Of course, it's an over, Joe. Peter Grassi says, one of the OG 6 teams for us older guys. LOL. Let's go. Hell yeah. We'll take some of that action. Jay Peasy saw Dustin Wolf when he played for the Ontario Reign. That's cool. That's cool. A little AHL, a little minor league hockey for our guy Jay Peasy. Let's go. KV says, Calgary at home, bet other team to win first period was money end of last year. Nasty Nate's giving Sub an update on that fight and how that's going to finish. Love it, you guys. Everyone's sharing great plays. Love to see it. Excited here. Just an hour. Just 1 hour till we get into Dana White Contender Series. Last week, 10 straight weeks of firing off Tuesday plays for you guys. Special place in my heart that week that we only had 4 fights and your boy here picked up over 22 units. But let's go. He wants to clap some cheeks. He says, fuck you're under. Peter Gracia says, love Philly too. Bobby Clark, Moose DuPont. Of course, what's not to like about Ronnie Hextall? KV, let's go. Says Columbus Blue Jackets first period. Columbus in regulation at plus 220. A little double spot for C-Bus. Thanks, Ice Viking. Appreciate you, man. Congrats on winning the UFC pub contest. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That was Saturday was a special. I'll tell you what. Yesterday, despite not performing here on the show, was still a pretty good day too. And you know, Sunday night with that fucking Giants under was a smasher. I have not seen one of those look ahead spots yet for the NFL. So I told you guys when I find them, I will share them with you so we can get the best numbers. I just haven't seen them yet. But what I have seen here, the Philadelphia Flyers action, 1-1 on the season. We just talked about some getting busted up, but finding a way to win that first game against that shitbag Vancouver team that's now taking that road trip down to Tampa Bay. Edmonton on the other side, 0-3. What do they say? It's the Super Bowl hangover. I gotta do something on my shoulder. The Super Bowl hangover very much in play, except it's the Stanley Cup hangover. And Edmonton just can't find their heads and their asses at the same time. You know, remember last year, the Edmonton Oilers shit-canned their coach, about a quarter of the way into the season? And obviously that paid dividends. They were able to kind of push things forward. They had to do something to stop the bleeding out there. But on the flip side, we have the Philadelphia Flyers. And I'll tell you what, if you guys have been following Philly as long as I have, you know the big thing that they've got issues with is goaltending. Goaltending has been their nemesis. You even take a guy like Bobrovsky, you bring him in Philly. He shits the bed, they ship his ass out. I mean, he did okay, but he wasn't good. He was serviceable. He wasn't spectacular. He wasn't bag of shit either, though. And then he goes off to, and he finds a way to make some things happen out there. And the story goes on and on. Provorov's another guy. I mean, they just can't figure out their goaltending situation. But my point to that whole thing is they might have found a guy in Samuel Ersson. He's got a 1.85 goals against average, 92.3% save percentage. And the thing about this guy, that situation they had going on last year where they had hurt goaltenders as well and they couldn't quite get the rhythm down, Ersson got a lot of playing time, a lot more than he should have to finish off the season. 49 games played. Yeah, 23, 19, and 7, but shit, they got points in 30 of the 49 games he played. Now you're going into Edmonton, which obviously is Stanley Cup finalist. Factors you want to get involved and start thinking about out there. Flip side, Skinner, only 25 years old. Feels like this guy's been playing in the league for 10 years. Just a lot of time on the fucking tires for this guy. A lot of tread being worn off. 8 goals on 41 shots through 2 games of this season. 5.39 goals against average. Now, you can't win games if you don't score. The Edmonton Oilers only have 3 goals scored on the season. That's going to be a problem because Philly's going to be tuned up. Shout out to my guy, given these trends as well for me. Home teams against the money line. Poor offensive team scoring less than 2.5 goals a game. After 3 straight blowout losses of 3 goals or more are 25-4. I'm going to take it from him. I'm going to share it with you guys. And appreciate him sharing it with me. 25-4 for the Flyer spot out there. I was originally looking at this team total spot. But I got to take a look at this one here, man. This is an opportunity for us here. We'll go 3 wide. One hockey game that we're going to go 3 wide on. It's going to be the late game, so we'll talk more about this as we get into the Dana White Contender Series spot. But the 175 for the Flyers here, I'm going to take that shot, especially with a big trend like I just mentioned to you guys, a 25-4 situation. Shit team that's not scoring after getting busted up, doesn't find a way to get their shit back together. That's what that trend said. 25-4 favors the Flyers. Also, can't miss the fact that the Flyers have scored 3 or more goals in every game this season. Skinner's out there getting roasted and toasted like a marshmallow over the open fire on a campout. And I'm adding a goal scorer in here. Let me go Connor McDavid, a.k.a. Connor McJesus, a.k.a. crushed it last year, was the guy that finally rounded his game out, leading with assists, helping guys like Hyman, Draisaitl, and the crew figure their shit out. But this guy priced at plus 135 hasn't scored a goal all season. This is law of averages. This is like one of those spots where we start talking about some of these spots and you're like, well, how come this guy and why not that? Guy hasn't scored a goal in 3 games. I don't think he's gone 4 games in his entire career without scoring a goal. I don't suspect it starts tonight. I think he'll find a way. They're probably going to come out fired up and pissed off. You got to. You're struggling. I think at the end, the Flyers will be too much to knock these dudes off here because they're going to be coming in. You got Owen Tippett. You got Travis Konecny. And then let's not forget about the new boys on the squad. I love those looks out there. Getting, I'll figure out how to say his name. Is it Michkov and Jet, the Golden Jet, top draft pick for these boys. There's a lot of excitement going on. Torts always gets the boys fired up early. The thing I like about Tortorella as a coach, last year he took the iPads, he took the tablets away from the guys. And he was like, look, you're young. Look, watch the game. Watch the speed. Stop looking at your fucking tablets. And he took them off the bench to get them young boys up and running, and it certainly had some dividends. He's also softened a little bit. He used to not be afraid to call dudes out, talk some shit, but he's starting to figure out pieces out there. Let's not forget that Drysdale move at the end of last season to shore up their defense. Let's not forget, Joel Farabee's another dude they've got out there. Morgan Frost. There's a lot of firepower with this Philly team. I think there's enough for them to win tonight. I love the McDavid goal too. I just think that he's not going to go. Maybe he does. I can't imagine that be the case, but let's go. KV says more likeys for Mikeys. Let's go. JPZ says, last year I had less gray hair. Shout out to Trisha M in the house. Says over 100 plus watching. Wow. Let's go, you guys. We have been growing, and it's all because you guys come in here rocking, hearing some of these trends, these angles, maybe some of my bullshit on top of it. But look, I'm going to give it to you guys straight. Straight shot, no chaser. And we're going to take a spot with this Philadelphia Flyers team here. And we're going to go 3 wide. Only hockey game tonight. We're going to go 3 wide on. So let's go to baseball. Let's jump in. Obviously, last night, we had Stevie Ray Kwan firing it off for us. I keep hitting the wrong button there. Where's this thing? Oh, I'm not in the right spot. That's why. That's why I'm hitting the wrong button. Button. Who's got the button? Who knows where that's from? Who knows what that reference is from? I'll be impressed if somebody throws that one out there. Button. Who's got the button? Come on, somebody might get it. All right, let's move into baseball here. We don't spend a lot of time talking about the splits in hockey because, frankly, I don't care. Sometimes we'll use them as a weather vane. But we do look at these splits when it comes to the Guardians and the Yankees. And right now, pros are versus Joes. The percentage of bets are 92% on the New York Yankees. It's close. It's not Wizard of Oz, Jolly Roger, but it might be of the same era. Maybe a little later. It's important to hydrate because I fully plan to dehydrate in an hour with you guys. So it's important to hydrate. 72% of the cash, however, on the Guardians. And who wins the battle in the eyes of Vegas? The percentage of cash. This line has dropped almost 20 full cents down to plus 148. Bah. Then we look at the total. Sevens, 79% of the bets, 77% of the cash. I'll just tell you guys. I don't think you'll get it. You know what? I'll wait. If you guys get it, I'll be impressed. I'll finish it. I'll make sure to tell you before the end of the show. If you get it, I'll be impressed. You want a hint? Gene Wilder. There's your hint. Gene Wilder's the guy that says it. There's your hint. 79% of the bets and 77% of the cash on the Guardians. Line has not moved. In fact, it is still shaded to the under. Now showing minus 115s versus plus 100s to the over. Why is that, you ask? Well, it's Garrett Cole with a 3-point. Yeah, Ice Viking gets it. He gets it. I gave you guys 2 great tips there. Wizard of Oz era and Gene Wilder. I mean, shit. Who you guys got it? Button. All right, that's we gotta show my age a little bit. That's right. Let's talk about this though. We've got Garrett Cole starting off with a 3.0 ERA. He's 1-0 on the season, in the postseason, I should say. And then we've got Bibee firing the ace of the staff for the Cleveland Guardians. Now, yesterday I mentioned this. Them boys got to be watching the show. I specifically called all three of them out. I'm not going to mention their names again. Because if they are watching, I don't want to motivate them to go out there and stick it in my you-know-where. But obviously, we had a big Stevie Ray Kwan spot last night. The Waco kid. That's a good one, Jay Peasy. That is a good one. Yeah, we've been seeing a ton of runs in the postseason with these two teams out there. And, you look at it, Garrett Cole, the last 3 seasons against the Guardians, he has been in shutdown mode. He's won all 7 of the battles that he's faced. All 7 of those wins have come by multiple runs. But we have the key man on the bump for these Guardians. Now, I mentioned the 3 postseason for Garrett Cole. He was 2.53 ERA in the month of September. So he's been leaking a little bit, I guess. I don't know. It's the postseason. But Bibee, only 2 runs allowed in 8.2 innings of playoff work for this guy out there. And I don't normally do this. It reminds me of I probably told that story, but I'm sure I didn't tell the story before, but I have a friend that, no, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'll get a couple cocktails and I'll tell the story later tonight. But in the ALCS here, I'm going to take this first 5. I'm going to take the under 3.5. It's even money. I do think both these guys shove. Now, I say I don't normally do this because I was looking at this first 5 with the Cleveland Guardians. Not the full game. And I might look at a live bet for the full game. But I contemplated this. I'll tell you exactly where my headspace was at. Cleveland in the first 5 on the money line. And then if they lose, I can try to reevaluate my situation for the full game. But I decided, you know what? I expect this to be a low-scoring game. 0-0, 1-1 in the first 5 innings between these two. So I want that first 5 under a plus money, and I'm going to take the half because I expect it to be our guy tied after 2 innings. I expect this to be a battle royale between these two teams. I know my boy told me there was a 24-1 angle, I believe is what it was, with Garrett Cole versus the ALC. When I look at these divisional matchups and how these teams line up, that certainly is something that pops off the page for me. But tonight in this spot, if it is tied and we catch that hook with the +0.5, I'll probably look to if we can cash both of these spots. I don't want to say if, but when I expect to cash both these plays and I expect it to be tied after 5, I'm going to go in and live bet them Cleveland Guardians. Probably get them around a +128 is the number I'm expecting. Let's say it's 1-1 or even 0-0. And then we look at this second half when we see, well, if these guys are shoving, they're not coming out and they'll continue to be who's going to get the 1 run to get it done. If I had to pick a guy to get it done, this one doesn't jump out to me like yesterday. I mean, yesterday we had that perfect setup. You guys, you know what we've been looking for. We want to see one of the best hitters on the team, best guy lefty righty, best guy on the road. If I had to pick one this game, let me see. I mean, it's hard not to still look at Kwan. I would look to Ramirez in this game. Let's see what Ramirez is priced at. Maybe I'll pair Ramirez with Connor McDavid goal. Call it the bullshit play of the day. Because it's 2 dudes that should get it done. Well, he's priced at +180. It was 185. It's coming down for Ramirez. I'd look at Ramirez here. Again, the numbers that we look for, batter versus pitcher. Ramirez is hitting a 353 against Garrett Cole. By far best on the team by a mile. Next closest guy to him is Josh Naylor with a 250, or 240. So you got a 353 versus a 240. You go lefty, righty. Stevie Ray Kwan, 280. I wonder if his middle name is Ray. I don't know. Then anyways, Jose Ramirez is at 254, so he's the second best. Well, I guess you still have Will Brennan out there, lefty-righty situations. But the thing that I think is the advantage for Ramirez is he can go lefty or righty. He's the switch hitter situation out there. And then home versus away. Yeah, he's 257. I don't like all the lefties in the lineup for this Cleveland Guardians team. That's what does make me nervous about just firing away on them full game. They got a shit ton of lefties. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in the starting lineup. They got 2 switch and a righty in Lane Thomas, probably going to be the mayor of Cleveland after the season. And then you look at Garrett Cole. He's a 235 against righties. He's a 209 against lefties. So it's not optimum situation out there. But flip side, the Yankees got 4 righties and Bibby's a 190 against righties. So it just supports the under for me in that first 5 and taking a shot with smoke and mirrors. Our guy Sharpie believes in it. If she ain't 280, she ain't a lady. Yellow mustard tip. I have not seen that name in the chat yet, but I like to see it. It says Cleveland is the land, and tonight the Guardians show the world that they about to snap off. Okay. Says Cleveland about to put up for the city. I don't disagree. I told you my live bet strategy. Now you know my live bet strategy. It's important when you attack a game that you not just think about how you're going to play it now, but like, what are you looking for? That's why I tell you guys a lot of times, if we see first periods go under, start to look to live bet hockey games over, and vice versa. If that first period smokes it over, you're going to get a better number on the under. So it's very important to have some of the strategies around how you expect to live bet those games as you move forward. So let's move forward. Let's get to this is tough for me. These college football games they're tough for me. I still got a unit on each of these plays I'm going to give you guys. I just don't love them. I just don't love these plays. I shouldn't even say it. I should be more excited, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. All 3 of these games are shit. I think I got some good angles that we can capitalize on for these 2 games that we're going to get involved with here. And it's Kennesaw State and Middle 10. Look, first number is their overall record. Second number is their record in conference. 0-5 is Kennesaw State. 1-5 is Middle 10. What do you want me to say? These are great teams. They're shit teams. But certainly I don't have any action, by the way, on that Troy South Alabama game. I looked at Troy in the first half, but that number's come down so much I can't explain it. I guess there's got to be some injury factors going on. Maybe Ramon had said that. Maybe that's what Ramon was saying. Maybe that's what Ramon was saying. Let's see what Ramon said. Troy, there you go. That doesn't make sense, though. That makes even less sense to me. Crowder's out for Troy, but the line's come down 5 points. The team total is the spot that I was looking at for South Alabama, but I want to give you guys something on that. You know what? If I was going to give you anything, I'd give you the first half of South Alabama. You're going to bring in backup city for these guys here. This number's come down, so you're getting what was a 6.5 there's 4.5 at BetMGM. What time's this game start? 7:30. Keep your eyes on that number. Keep your eyes on it. If this 4.5 starts to show up elsewhere, given that Troy Crowder news, take a look for that first half. Just strategically. I know we're trying to fire on some of these games last minute and all, but at 8:00, I can talk about this game a little bit here. Middle 10 opened up at 9.5. They got 83% of the bets and 73% of the cash on Middle Tennessee. The lines come down. There's still a 9, I guess I should say, pop back out there. But 8.5 predominantly across the board, and the total is dropping 50.5 to 49.5. Probably this total is dropping as a reflection of these are 2 shit teams that have a struggling ability to score. Now, I see our guy Jay Peasy was talking about this Middle 10 team total over. Look, they're 3-0 to the over at home. Kennesaw State 0-2 to the under on the road. So, I mean, are they going to match up? I mean, look, both these defenses are fucking horrible. The thing about Middle 10, and I remember CMAC coming on last Thursday talking about this, and we'll get to the point of it in a second here, is Middle 10 just struggles to find the end zone. Yeah, they put up 21 points against a suspect La Tech team, but let's not forget La Tech's 2-3 overall. That's the next game we'll talk about with these pieces of shit as well against New Mexico State. So as I was looking at this, though, I see reverse line movement. And then I see a situation where I'm looking at this Kennesaw State team, and what are you going to say? They're getting fucking thrashed, right? But, well, they got run over by Jacksonville State, 63-24. It was ugly. That's about as ugly as it gets. And yeah, I see the situation. I see you guys talking in the chat. Certainly Middleton can pass the ball. And certainly Kennesaw struggles to protect the ball. If I was going to look at, well, let's talk about the Owls. Let's talk about their fucking defense. They're bottom of the league. There's 150 teams in college football. They rank 120th in defensive finishing drives, defensive quality of drives. They suck. They're also bottom 100. They're a little bit better at passing and rushing rates allowed. So they're a little better. And there's definitely a step up. There's no doubt in, there's a step down, I guess I would say, in Middleton's ability to go out there and play this Kennesaw State team. Middleton doesn't run the ball. Only 44% of the time they are running that ball. They put it all in their quarterback's hands. He's got 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So they're going to need to get this clock running here. The thing I looked at with this one, if I was going to look, I got a spot on played. I got the 9.5 with Kennesaw State. It's the first year Kennesaw State's playing in the FBS, right? First time they're in the bigs with Division I. So you can expect it to be piles of shit. Now, Middleton, does allow more passing yards than what they are averaging. So you could expect that Kennesaw State can have a little bit more success on the offensive end of the ball than they've had just because of the softness of this Middleton's defense. But it's the rest advantage to me that jumped off the page more than anything else. They got busted up and run off the tracks against Jacksonville State. I told you 63-24. That was October 4th. That was 11 days ago. This will play a part in a minute because Middleton just got busted up by La Tech October 10th. It was 5 days ago. So you got a short rester with Middleton. You got a Kennesaw team who now looks at this as their FBS with time off to prepare. Probably the only chance they have to win a game in the conference this year. Teams that do have rest advantage on the road and didn't cover their last game against a conference opponent are a smoking 218 and 119. If they were the dog the last game, they're 36 and 11. Very much certainly Kennesaw State was a dog. They're piles of shit. But I think this is too many points out there. I think you grab this 9 in your back pocket while you can. We can put lipstick on the pig, but it still rolls in the mud. And we'll get in the mud with this one here. I got the 9.5. Let me just see what's out there. This is put this shit together and it just changes. There's a 9 at Bet Rivers that's minus 112. There's an 8.5. I'm still good with the 8.5. I'm still good with that. I just think Middleton's one-dimensional. Kennesaw is going to have a little bit more success than they've had, which is nothing all season long. And they've got the rest advantage and time to prepare for this team. I wouldn't even be mad at like a first half. Let's see what the first half number is. You can get 6.5s out there for the first half. They're juiced now. There's minus 128s, minus 129s. You can see a 6 at minus 115. This is a rest opportunity, rest situation with a team this is their Super Bowl for all. This is their conference championship. It's going to be a nationally televised game on CBS Sportsnet. It's for all the chips with this Kennesaw State team against the Middleton Blue Raiders. And let's not forget, C-Mac talked to us about it last week. Excuse me. Middleton has struggled getting it through the end zone. They can't put the points on the board. Now, granted, La Tech, of course, but we'll talk about them next. Give me some Kennesaw State. Look at a little tickle in the throat. Let's see if we can't fix that. If I say the word shitbags too many times in a row, my throat starts to tickle. And that's what we crossed there with that Middleton game. But look at this pile of dog shit. La Tech at 2-3 is 1-1 on the conference against a New Mexico State team that's 1-5 and 0-3 in their conference play out there. Interesting situation because this money is pretty split right down the middle. And it's right where the books want them. It opened at 8.5. Now it has moved up to 11.5 with all fairness, but that was some earlier week movement. It is 50% on New Mexico State of the bets, 50% of the bets. It is 51% of the cash on La Tech. And the total's dropping. 52.5 has dropped to 49.5. Reverse line movement because 87% of the bets and 86% of the cash sitting there on the over. I guess the general perception is they're going to score some points in this game. Maybe. I guess. Kind of, sort of. I don't know. I'm not going to pretty this one up. We're at 7 o'clock. We got 40 minutes till this Dana White Contender Series. Let me tell you, this is the play for me. Now, I see the overs. La Tech's got a nice 10-0 run going to the over when their last game went over by 15 or more points. So when they're getting scores, it carries over to that following game. But the thing about that last game is they let Middle 10 score, who's bad. We just talked about how bad they are. In those spots, by the way, La Tech is 4-6. Now you let a Middle 10 team go out there and put up a 21 spot on you. You're running a 10-0 over trend and you're 4-6 in those spots. The margin of victory in those spots at 4-6 is -9 points. Think about that. You're 4-6. You're not covering the spread by 9 points and you're catching 11.5. Now there's a 12 out there at DraftKings for New Mexico State. La Tech, away or neutral games after a conference game are 0-8. That's a healthy 0% for anybody that's thinking about them La Tech Bulldogs. La Tech, if you fade them against the conference, are 22-10 against the spread. And unranked rested dogs do have a 32-18 margin in those spots as well. Just giving you some of the buy the trends. Don't shoot the messenger, but I'm jumping in. I took that 11.5. You can get 12s now. Fire away on that thing to me. It's too many points. It's too many points for La Tech. Were they going to go out there and bust these guys up by 40? I don't think so. That rest advantage is the fact that there is that one more day for New Mexico State. So you got a rest less team or a team with one less day's rest that has to travel out to New Mexico State. That's a pretty lengthy journey. A little bit of loss of time to prep. And their margin is -9 in that 4-6 ATS trend. That's good enough for me to take some New Mexico State. I'll take it. I'll run with it. We'll see if we can get paid with it. Jolly Roger says New Mexico State's quarterback is horrible at throwing the ball. I get it. They're bad. JPZ says Kennesaw State's defense, not even top 225. I get it. I knew you guys weren't going to like these plays, but listen. The NFL just had a fucking crank the bookies right in the face weekend. I think the favorites are just going to keep striking all over the card, all over the place, all over the board today. I know college is different than the NFL, but Vegas coming back for some money. They want their cash. And now them favorite bettors here, I think, get cooked tonight. We've seen these dogs early in the week have been successful. And I hope you guys are successful, unless you're fading me. And then I hope you lose. But it's with due respect, right? I mean, if I say it with all due respect, you got to appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys rocking with us, man. It's been fun talking about this here. I mentioned 7:40 p.m. That's 35 minutes. Get these bets in. Get yourselves ready. We can talk shit about these games all night long. It's going to be fun, man. This is the last week. We did it for 10 weeks. We got through it. And, man, we've been making a ton of cash with it. So I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be a ton of fun to get after it. This week's just getting started. We got Dana White tonight. We got the first strike tomorrow. We got Thursday night football. Friday, I'll be live on location, giving you guys a couple best bets while we're at the LFA MMA card. And then Sports Money's UFC 6 comes back to attack on Saturday. You know what we did last Saturday. You know what we're going to do again this Saturday. I'm fired up for it, you guys. I appreciate everybody that came in here and rocked with us. If you haven't done so already, smash that thumbs up on your way out the door. That really does help, more than you guys can imagine. And speaking of what helps, Cameron Sinet with the $9.99 dono helps a ton. Old E with the gifted membership helping us grow this thing helps a ton. The more members we get, the more you guys provide for us, the more we can in turn provide for you. You guys know the deal here. We want to get these tools and technology to help you guys make informed betting decisions. And we need your help to do just that. These things don't grow on trees. So thank you guys for all the time you spent with us here, not just today, but throughout as we've grown here and continue to grow. We're almost to 800 subs. It's so exciting to see that. And I can't wait. We'll be back here at 7:40 p.m. for Sports Money. It's your boy Pimp Slap POD. See you guys in just a